107 Tire and Service Center, we pride ourselves on being professional and reliable while giving you an honest service at an affordable price. From alternators, brakes, and computer diagnostics to motors and transmissions, most repairs come with a 12-month and 12,000-mile warranty on parts and labor. Need tires? We have those too. Major brands such as Cooper, Hankook, Michelin, and more. We are a family-owned and operated business located at 6256 Irwin Highway, Chuckey, Tennessee. Call or stop by today for a quote or repair. 423-620-4970.
When it rains, it drains. Call Houston Guttering for commercial or residential guttering work. With over 20 years experience, owner and operator Kerry Houston can take care of you. Plus, they give free estimates, repairs on 5 and 6-inch gutters, window screens, blown attic insulation. They take care of you with all work guaranteed. Call 931-267-5803. That's 931-267-5803. Or check them out on Facebook. In Middle Tennessee, there's only one name to know. That's Houston Guttering. Call them today.
The Virtual Grip Network and the Pro Late Model Dirt Series welcome you to the Carrier Fall Nationals, round 6 of 7. It's the Gobbler 30 tonight at Volusia Speedway. Double points night. We'll get to that later. The only double points race of the Fall Nationals. 200 points to the winner. A lot of drivers still in this one. I am your host, Kenny Kibbe, along with my co-host, J.R. Shepard, with Mike Yao in the booth covering the cameras tonight with the Virtual Grip Network. These Pro Late Models, the Dirt Series, these guys have had a wonderful series already, and we're getting down to it here where a champion's going to be crowned here pretty soon. JR, coming into this one, we're now at Volusia Speedway, one of my favorite dirt tracks personally. Tell us about the track tonight and what these drivers might be able to expect.
Yeah, Kenny, this is a great track. So Volusia Speedway, it's a half-mile banked D-shaped dirt oval that is located in Volusia County, Florida. So currently this track hosts the World of Outlaw sprints and late model divisions here, and just produces some phenomenal racing with multiple grooves for all the drivers to choose from. So we've ran on this track in the past. It's great, produces some really awesome racing, and we expect the same here tonight.
So coming into tonight, the more recent winners, Ethan Toder, he won the event at Fairbury for the Fall Nationals, and Cardwell got the win last time out. Devin Cardwell got the win last time out at USA, a very competitive race. And, this has been kind of a tale of three drivers in this Fall Nationals. You have Ryan Underwood, who's the points leader, finished, I believe it was second last time out. Ethan Toder in the second place, and then Devin Cardwell there you see is in third place. A decent gap back to fourth place Brandon Bender, but JR, it's double points night, so that could all change.
Absolutely, man. Double points night. That's your chance to capitalize on bad races that you've had in the past. So if you can go out and make something happen tonight, you can really jump some guys in the points here and move up quite a bit. It could potentially shake up those top three.
Looking down at the guys below the top 10 in points now, there was a spring nationals, I believe it was too, and there's two series that have been combined. So some drivers have run only some of the events. A lot of entrants have at least competed in one race. So look at that, over 40 drivers have been in at least one. So very good participation. It is worth noting tonight that less than 22 drivers have entered the session, so everybody will make the feature. But going back to what will be starting soon, qualifying, JR, everybody's going to make the feature, but it's going to be important to get the best starting spot that you can get, right?
Absolutely. So these are the Pro Late models. A lot of fun to drive, a lot of horsepower, 700 horsepower here. But at the same time, if you've got guys that know what they're doing with the setups they're given, they can be very hard to pass. So track position is going to be key. The track already looks a little bit slicker than what I kind of expected. So these guys are going to be moving around trying different lines and qualifying. But I believe they only get 2 laps here, so they got to make them count.
Yep, only 2 laps of qualifying, and the track started at low usage, which is about 21%. And but it's going to carry out throughout the entire event. So, we're going to we have our practice. It's basically concluded now. Drivers are off the track. They just had a drivers meeting. Then you got qualifying, then all of the heats, and then the feature, which is 30 laps tonight. So this track is never going to reset, and it's only going to get worse from here on out. JR, I can see that there's been a lot of rubber put down already on like the lower groove. Do you think the groove's going to kind of move up the track, or do you think somebody's going to bottom feed and try to grab that last little bit of grip on the bottom side?
I'd love to see some bottom feeders here tonight, but based on practice, I think it's going to move up to at least the middle groove, and it's going to push up even higher than that probably in our final race. So that cushion's going to continue to move up, and they're going to have to search for the grip. Again, they have 700 horsepower. They've got to find some moisture in the track to get that grip that they need, get up off the corner.
And going back to some of the race details here, we got less than 3 minutes left until qualifying starts, but we will have 2 laps qualifying, as JR said earlier, then 10-lap heat races will go on tonight, and then an LCQ, which I believe if everybody makes a feature, that may get skipped. We'll have to see what happens there. And then caution laps do not count in this. And then again, we have the 30-lap feature. Now, 30 laps really, JR, that to me, that seems like a relatively short feature race. Do you think aggression's going to possibly be a high level in this one?
I think it is for sure. So, this is the type of track that going into turn 1, it's a tighter corner. If you get too high, the car tends to push up and you tend to jump that cushion if you're not careful. So I think you're going to see some aggression going in there. Guys may just trying to get position on the guy that's behind them and not get past, may jump that cushion. So I think turn 1's going to be one to keep an eye on. The backstretch is a D shape. So you're going to see some guys probably try to take some lower lines to gain time on the guy that's in front of them. And when that happens, they try to make a dive in the turn 3 to pull a slider. And sometimes those sliders go wrong. So I'm going to pay attention to turn 1, but potentially turn 3 could be one to watch if guys start to get a run on each other.
I figured it might be a good time to say now that the Pro Late Model Dirt Series has announced it will bring back the Fall Nationals in 2022, but with a new format. So there will be an 8-race mini-series with those 8 races taking place within 11 days. So it's going to be a busy time. November 1st through November 11th, with just a few off days in between. The full schedule will be released in the spring of 2022. Registration is open also for the second annual Icebreaker 100 at Cedar Lake Speedway. Very technical track there. Another one that I enjoy. It's $30 to enter, and it's up to a $400 to win event. To enter, simply message the Pro Late Model Dirt Series at facebook.com/PLM Dirt Series. And that event is slated for December 29th. A lot of big names have already decided to join that. It's a large field, and JR, talk about kind of the hype that comes around these special event dirt or pavement iRacing events where it's a one-off deal. You have to pay to get in, but there's also rewards on the other end.
Yeah, it's unique for sure. So these are the type of events, no matter what league you race in, you want to come into here and try to make a name for yourself. You want to do the best showing that you can, and it's a one race event, so you're not worried about points. You're only worried about going as fast as you can and trying to get the most gains out of each and every lap that you turn. So that's a lot of what we're going to see, and so sometimes it doesn't play out well. So you may see some upset drivers at the end of this, but we'll just have to pay close attention, see how it works out. And I believe qualifying has just started, Kenny. And if I'm not mistaken, I think race control has actually reset this session to where the track is at a 0% track state. So that's cool.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Track state has been reset to 0% for this, and I assume it's going to roll over through the rest of the event. We're looking at John Hine right now going through turn 1 and 2. I noticed that he ran a really high line in 3 and 4 coming to the green. He's going to run the short line around 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 to complete lap number 1. And he's the first one to put up a time at a 16.043. It's kind of like on pavement, some short tracks, JR, where you'll run a high line entering or 3 and 4 in order to start your green flag lap and have that momentum shoot you down the straightaway to start your lap.
Yeah, absolutely. So, dirt cars in general are pretty momentum cars. Of course, when you get into the higher horsepower ranks, that kind of drops a little bit, but they're still momentum cars. So if you can get that speed up off the last corner coming to the green flag, you can be 3, 4, 5 mile an hour faster just coming to the green. That can gain you a couple of tenths of a second. So these guys are going to try to capitalize that on that each and every lap.
Ryan Underwood has jumped to the top of the board, and again, he's one of our title contenders. He is the points leader, and not a surprise there. Did not run a practice time, though. So that was his first time out, and now we're watching the 70 of Devin Cardwell, who he is another one of the guys to watch. Again, it's been Underwood, Cardwell, and Toter have really been kind of the class of the field most weeks in these races, but again, there's been plenty of other guys who have been up towards the front. Steven Spies and John Hine, fast as always. They're in the top 5 right now. Ethan Toter, there he is, up to P3 at the moment. And looking at the 70 car again, that's Devin Cardwell trying to get a time. Now, talk about this, JR. You got to get these fast lap times, but in dirt, you cannot touch the wall or else your lap will be discounted.
Yeah, so it's extremely tricky because you can see a lot of these guys, especially through 3 and 4, trying to run the very bottom of the track. Very easy to misjudge that and just barely touch the left front to that wall. And if you do that, your lap just goes out the window, doesn't count. So these guys are having to be extremely careful in what they're doing. And to be honest with you, it's probably slowing them down a little bit because they're worried about that. So you may end up seeing some guys not qualify as well as expected. But during the race, they're going to get everything they can.
So Devin Cardwell actually jumped to the pole. That was the only lap of his that counted, and he will start on pole for heat number 1. So it's Devin Cardwell first, flanked by Ethan Toter. That is a stacked front row. DC Smith will start third with Alan Walden in fourth, JR.
Yep, and then we got Colin Voiles in 5th, Cody Terry is in 6th, and 7th we have Jordan Van Westen.
And the time trials, again, were sponsored by Houston Guttering, the time trials, and now we're headed to the Carrier Heat races. I'll get those sponsor plugs right eventually. But we'll roll ahead here for these heat races, and okay, that was interesting. There was quite a gap between the leader and everybody else there, but everybody seems to have gained pace, and now we're following behind the iRacing pace truck. First heat of the night, JR, you got the pole sitter starting in first, obviously. Top 4 will automatically make it to the feature. What are your expectations here in the first heat?
Yeah, I expect Davin to kind of pull away a little bit here initially, but Ethan is extremely fast. He's going to close back up. Those two may race it out through this. I think as far as 3rd and 4th, you're going to see guys just try to get into that transfer spot. If they're in, I don't think they're going to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, the top 4 drivers here in this heat, they did qualify within like just about a 10th and a half of each other. So and that's 1st through 4th in a heat, not 1st through 4th in the qualifying order. So it's a pretty stacked field, very even. We got 6 cars in this first heat. The 7th, Jordan Van Westen, did not grid up, it looks like. So coming around turn 3 and 4 of this D-shaped dirt oval in Volusia to take the green flag of the first heat race by Carrier, and there it goes. A pretty slow start there by Davin Cardwell, and he's got Ethan Toder all over him down into turn 1 and 2, and it's a gap back to DC Smith, who's all by himself, and then side by side behind him.
Yeah, Toder is being very aggressive here. He's taking the outside line. I think it's going to be the preferred line, and I think he's going to get Cardwell into turn 1 here. Man, just really tight side-by-side racing, but a lot of respect from those guys so far.
Yeah, so there's no lane choice in this league. So, we have caution behind them. Oh, wow, all 4 drivers behind the 2 leaders have just wrecked. One driver went tumbling. I believe that was the 39 of DC Smith. We'll take a look at the replay from the blimp here. DC Smith down into 3 and 4, just gets a little bit of a touch from the car behind him. I think that was Alan Walden, if I remember correctly. Yes, it was, and what a wild ride there for DC Smith.
Absolutely was, and I was incorrect, Kenny. I thought the guys in 3rd and 4th would be a little bit more calm, but yeah, just a lot of nerves here. Everybody wants to transfer in to the next race, so they were being a little bit aggressive there. Nothing crazy, but everybody trying to get every inch of speed that they can in each corner, and just some contact was made.
So DC Smith, as expected, is into the pits. Not sure if they get faster, but it looked like maybe they do, because he is quickly in and out of the pits. So looks like he is back out on track. I believe he'll stay on the lead lap. And also, this league gives blame. They will have somebody take blame for this, and we'll give an EOL based on that, who caused the caution. So Alan Walden has been given an EOL. He'll be at the back of the field to restart here. We're only 2 laps into this 10-lap heat race, so we're going to be, I believe, single file. We'll see if these guys double up. Well, they are double file restarts here. I get my dirt leagues mixed up, but anyways, Cody Terry now in 4th. Ethan Toder is going to be on the bottom for this one as the leader. Colin Voiles also next to Cody Terry in row number 2, and we'll see if Cardwell gives the same kind of pinching that Toder gave him.
Yeah, absolutely. If Davin can get a decent start here, he can do the same thing that Ethan did to him earlier, and he may be able to recapture the lead here.
Cardwell there was actually kind of ahead when the green flag came out, but he didn't fire first, so Toder will dive down into turn 1 and 2, and he is clear. That's a very important pass there for Cardwell. Side by side behind him, that's Cody Terry and Colin Voiles going at it. Cardwell not giving up, though. Ooh, more contact in behind as the 25's around. Are they going to keep it going? It looks like they will. Got some wounded cars in the back. That's Walden and Terry side by side. So we look at the replay of this restart. We are staying green while this is going on. It's single filed out for the lead at the moment. Here's the restart. What's your analysis here, JR, as we go down into 3 and 4?
Yeah, so pretty clean restart overall through turns 1 and 2. As they go into 3 here, some really tight side-by-side racing, and just looks like Colin had some contact there with the 25 of Cody Terry, and everybody else behind just had to check up and where to go.
So we're just past halfway in this heat race, and that little scuffle there really spread out the field other than the 2 leaders who are going at it. Maybe a little bit of contact there between Toter and Cardwell. Cardwell trying to make that bottom line work, but as you talked about earlier, JR, the corners, they just kind of narrow up for the guy that's on the bottom on the exit.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And, you know, in these late models, especially the ones with more horsepower, you kind of want to do what's called a late model slider line. You kind of want to carry the speed getting into the corner and slide up the track. And it's very hard to do when the guy in front of you is running a really good line right through the middle. So you're not going to be able to carry that speed all the way like you need to. You can see that Davin's getting a good run going into the corner and closes right up on the quarter panel of Ethan, but he's having to lift and just not able to continue that speed off the corner.
Good hard racing between these two as Davin's going to slide up, and he's not afraid to make a little bit of contact here on the final lap of this heat race as Ethan Toter's going to come around and he will hold off to win heat race number 1. And how significant is that? Cardwell qualified on pole, but Toter will be the one to start on pole for the feature later tonight. You don't often see something like that happen where the pole sitter loses the first heat race, but it happened there as Davin Cardwell wins that heat, or Toter wins that heat, sorry about that, followed by Cardwell and DC Smith, Alan Walden in 4th, Cody Terry 5th, Colin Voiles 6th, rounds out the field there as we enter Cool Ray Heat Race number 2, as we have Ryan Underwood, the points leader, starting 1st, Steven Spees 2nd, and Brett Carlton in 3rd, Jer.
Yep, Zach Chapman is in 4th, Daniel Blau is in 5th, Tress Henderson will be in the 6th position as we take the green here in a little bit.
These are actually the carrier heat races, but Cool Ray also another very well-regarded sponsor in this series. You'll see Andy Piercefield run the Cool Ray car here in a bit. But we're doubled up here. Again, the leader is having to start on the bottom. And do you think that's going to be a disadvantage throughout these heat races?
Absolutely. The track's only going to get slicker and slicker on the bottom. So if the guy in first does not get a good jump, that second place guy is going to be setting pretty. So I have to watch Steven Spees here, see what he's able to do.
One more pace lap to come here. And the initial green is on the green flag, and the rest of the green flags, the restarts, are on the leader. So worth noting for future reference. These guys will have an even drag race, which is going to make it even harder for the leader to stay in front. There's a little bit of gamemanship going on as these guys have a little bit of contact down into 3 and 4 as Underwood slows the pace down and really backs away from the caution car. And here we go. Ryan Underwood fires off a really good jump down to turn 1 and 2, and he is clear of Steven Spees. How important is that?
That is huge, Kenny. So right now Ryan is just trying to turn some good laps, hit his marks, try to maintain that gap, if nothing else, from Steven so he can have a clean run here. Everybody else is trying to sort it out and get into that top 4 position.
You might have saw it on camera there. Zach Chapman got up into the wall going into 3 and 4 on lap 1 and way out of the groove, and he's going to drop basically back to last on lap 1. So now it's Underwood first, followed by Spees, Carlton, and Daniel Blau, and Trace Henderson in 5th.
Yeah, absolutely. So Daniel and Tress, they're working together here, trying to maintain single file, I think, at the moment. Count down some laps, but at the same time, I think Henderson's going to try to set up a pass if he can get closer. He lost some time there, got into the wall in the front stretch. Yeah,
he really pounded the wall coming out of turn 4, and that's another tricky thing about Volusia is you have a curved back stretch where the wall kind of sweeps outward But on the front stretch, that wall is straight and it flattens out, and it really narrows up on the exit of the high side, especially of turn 3 and 4.
And looks like we've actually got the closest battle is going to be for the second spot here. Looks like we have Brett Carlton going after Steven Spies. That may be the one to watch for the race here.
Yep, and again, the top 4 will automatically make it to the feature, but everybody will be feature racing tonight as Carlton trying to run down Steven Spies. Ryan Underwood has ran away by a little over half a second. And battle for 5th and 6th a little bit close. Henderson and Chapman are relatively close. Chapman trying his best to recover from his mishap earlier. But again, Underwood rather, leading by now 7/10 over Spies. And we're looking at Carlton as he's trying to run down Spies for that second spot as we come to 2 to go. And it's sort of looking like things are going to be decided. Brett Carlton, obviously, though, he's going to keep going after it, really dives down into turn 1 and 2, not giving up.
No, absolutely not. These guys are running laps comparable to the leader right now, but Ryan has that 7/10 of a second lead still. I think we're going to end up finishing the race like this. Brett may be slightly faster than Steven through turns 1 and 2, but I just don't think he's going to be able to get there.
No, sir, as Ryan Underwood will win this heat number 2, followed by Steven Spies, Brett Carlton, Daniel Blau, Zach Chapman, who struggled early on in that one, and then Trace Henderson in that one. So again, a couple of the heavy hitters both winning their respective heats as we look at the heat number 2 results. Ryan Underwood again, the race winner of that one. And we prepare for heat race number 3. It's going to be Justin Thompson, John Hine, and Brandon Bender starting in the first 3 positions.
Yep, then we have Andy Piercefield will be starting in 4th, Cody Early in 5th, and Joshua Johnson will be rounding out in the field in 6th position.
Really interested to see what a guy like Justin Thompson does. I don't remember seeing him race at USA. He could have, and I just don't remember. But a new name to me, at least up front. John Hine did not race in this series the last time out, but he did. Obviously, we know him from other leagues. He is a competitive racer. Brandon Bender, though, he's 4th place in points for this Fall Nationals. So he's going to be a title contender. He's the guy, one of them guys who's a ways back from Toter and Underwood in the points in Cardwell, but double points, like we said before. He could really pounce and take a jackpot home tonight.
Absolutely. So he's 4th place in points right now, but like you said, double points. This could be a big night. He's got to do everything he can, I think, to try to get into those top 2 positions so he has a good spot for the A-main coming up.
That is for sure, as Justin Thompson will lead him down into turn 3 and 4 as we're about to take the green flag of heat race number 2, presented by Carrier. And here we go, we're on the green. Not the greatest of jumps from Justin Thompson, as he is going to have to be side by side with John Hine. We'll see if Hine can stay on his quarter panel. He does. Thompson slides, can't get the power down, and John Hine's going to rip around the high side. He's going to ride around that fringe where the marbles are starting, and he actually gets a little bit loose and gives up some time out of 3 and 4. Good corner by Justin Thompson.
Absolutely, that's a big surprise there, but 3 and 4 seems to be very good on the bottom of the track. Right now, 1 and 2, it seems to be up top, has the preferred lane. These guys look to be very, very even here, running side by side for the top 4 positions.
Yeah, side by side for 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th as Andy Piercefield up out of the groove there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground. He's going to keep it up on the high side, though. A little bit of contact in the wall. That was the number 3, Cody Early. He gathers it back up. And we're looking back up at the front. Justin Thompson not giving up on that bottom side. But John Hine side by side with him, still fighting for this as we're about approaching the halfway point in this heat.
Absolutely. This track's getting better and better, I think. But, hey, looks like Justin was able to just clear. John might get his nose back to the outside here. A little bit of contact with the wall. Looks like Justin has cleared now, and the race is now between John and Brandon Bender.
I think Thompson really needs to cover that high side, though. John's going to try it, so He needs to cover that line, which he is doing right now. And John's going to have to settle in here. Now he's going to try to make the bottom line work. We're looking for Brandon Bender, who's going to have a front row seat to this battle as this race winds down here. Bender's going to dive to the bottom, but he can't make it work. Things are getting pretty spread out behind him. This is definitely the best battle on track, as Bender's going to have to kind of decide which way to go here if John gets side by side with Justin Thompson again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the top four have kind of pulled away just a little bit from the 5th and 6th place guys. So they're sitting pretty right now. They don't want to be overly aggressive and take a chance on making contact that takes them out of those transfer positions. So I expect some of these guys to kind of calm down and ride here. But again, we know that Bender, he's high up in points. He needs to get every position he can. I think he's going to try to make a move on John here on the closing lap. Yeah, well, you know that some of these, some of his points contenders are going to start pretty well in good position for the features. We take the white flag here, so he needs to try to get something to get a better starting spot in the feature, and he might not get that, as Justin Thompson's going to lead him down into 3 and 4 for the final time. He's going to hold off John Hine to win heat race number 3. John Hine second. Brandon Bender is going to get third. A good recovery from Andy Piercefield, not able to gain any more spots, but good job catching back up to the field. He will get fourth. Cody Early will be in 5th, and Joshua Johnson rounds out the field in 6th. So, JR, we had the heat races, no consolation because everybody's going to make the feature. What did you learn, or what was your take on the racing that we've seen so far tonight? Well, so far the outside line looks extremely good. For sure. So if you can get to that outside line, you can hold the guy down. It's going to prevent him from getting the run off the corner. You may lose a little bit getting in just because you can kind of run that late model slider line on entry, but coming off the corner, I think the grip's going to be on that high side. But we did see Justin Thompson run that bottom and make it successfully work to get past John a little while ago. So if you're somebody that can be very patient, work that throttle on the bottom of the track, you can have a big advantage over these guys going into this race.
For sure. I'm going to see if we can pull Justin Thompson in for an interview. Just give me a moment here. Also, we're not going to run it tonight, but the showdown, Last Chance Showdown, is sponsored by Combs Cuts. Figured I should have at least put that out there. But why don't we go to a short break, because we do have a couple videos to show, and we'll pull in Justin Thompson in for a quick interview before we get started here.
Racers that win, pour it in, and we appreciate you.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Racers that win, pour it in, and we appreciate you.
Preparing for the feature race tonight, and we brought in Justin Thompson the winner of the final heat race tonight. Justin, that was quite a battle you had there with John Hine.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. Didn't know if I was going to be able to clear him or not, but I mean, I made it happen. Right now, the track's just trying to get it widened out some. It's a little one lane at the moment.
Yeah, we noticed a lot of passing was happening on the top side, but you were able to hold off John on the bottom at the beginning there. You're going to start third place tonight in the feature. Do you think that's a good spot to possibly get a feature win tonight?
I'd prefer to be starting P2 or P4 up on the top side, but I mean, it's a hand of cards I was dealt, so I got to play them.
For sure. Well, do you have anybody to thank for your run so far tonight?
All the guys over at Hood Up Motorsports, my sponsors, SimMotion. Lord, it's been so long since I've been in one of these. It's been a minute. Base Racing Fuel, SimMagic, but everybody over at Hood Up Motorsports, they're a great group of guys, and they're a lot of fun to work with. So it brings the fun back to the game for me a little bit.
Yeah, you have had a good showing so far tonight. Go get them in this feature.
Thank you.
And I can't promise that I will put him in the correct room, but there goes Justin Thompson. He was our heat race winner in the final heat. And JR, Justin brought up a great point, saying he'd rather start in P2. Why is that?
It's just because this track is continuing to wear, and that cushion's continuing to move higher and higher up the track. So again, these cars have 700 horsepower. You're going to want to look for that moisture for that right rear tire in order to get the grip up off the corner, and I think that's where you're going to have the most chance to get that grip, is going to be on the high side. So if you're up there on the outside of somebody, you're going to be able to hold them down a little bit and get the run off the corner and make that pass.
Yeah, and I noticed in the chat, some guys were bothered by how the track state was at the beginning, and everybody was told to run all 6 minutes of the warm-ups. I'm assuming to try to wear the track in as much as they can, make it a 2-lane racetrack. But here we go. We're going to line up for the feature event tonight. 19, I think it's going to end up being 18 drivers in this one. It's Ethan Toder on the pole, followed by Ryan Underwood, the points leader of this Fall Nationals. Justin Thompson, who we just talked to, will be in third place. Davin Cardwell in fourth. Steven Spees will round out the top 5. John Hine will start next to him in sixth. It's DC Smith in seventh place, followed by Brett Carlton in eighth. Brandon Bender will be in ninth, and the top 10 is rounded out by Alan Walden.
And we've got Daniel Blau that is in 20th, or in the 20 car in 11th. Followed by Andy Piercefield in 12th. We have Cody Terrell will be in 13th. Zach Chapman in 14th. Cody Early will be in 15th. Colin Vowles will be in 16th. Tress Henderson will be in 17th. Joshua Johnson in 18th. And Jordan Van Westen will be rounding out the field in the 19th position.
That is your field tonight for the Gobbler 30 here at Volusia Speedway for the Pro Late Model Dirt Series drivers. I'm expecting a good race here. Hopefully we can get 2 lanes. But, JR, you got a pick for this one? You got a winner?
You've got Ethan Toder, Ryan Underwood. Those 2 guys I think are going to be hard to keep up with throughout this race. They're on the front row. If they can get single filed out, they may pull away slightly. At the same time, we saw Justin Thompson work the bottom earlier in his heat race. So, you got 3 guys there that I think are going to be really good choices. Be interesting to see if anybody else can keep up with them.
For sure. So we're lined up. We're double file here for this one, and we're on the final pace lap. And just to note, the track temperature all the way down to 58 degrees at the moment, but these guys have been trying to wear this track in. We'll see if 2 grooves come in as the Field will be controlled by Ethan Toder, but remember it's going to be a green on the green flag. Here we go, and the green comes out. A late start by both drivers on the front row, maybe a little bit of a stack up from that. They're diving down into turn 1 and 2. Remember, it's the last 2 winners of the Fall Nationals, Ethan Toder and Ryan Underwood, side by side. Actually, and Davin Cardwell right behind him. He's the guy who won the most recent one. So the last 3 winners are all together here, battling it out as we complete the first lap. And Toder really trying to clear Underwood, and he might be able to do so.
Yeah, he's going to have to get it done. He does move up the track, get in front of Ryan here. Now he's in the preferred lane that he wants to be running in. He'll be on the outside there. I know Ryan's trying to make another run underneath him, but I think Ethan's going to be able to hold him off here.
You might have seen in the tail end of your picture there, Brett Carlton went way up the track, and he was up out of the groove. He's trying to recover. Seems like somebody has done that in every so many laps in every race that we've seen so far tonight. But hopefully he'll be able to recover. Brandon Bender side by side with DC Smith. I think he can make that pass happen. But it's a pretty tight battle still up in front. The top 3 have single filed out. Davin Cardwell trying to make the top side work, but it looks like Underwood kind of sliding up in front of him, taking away that lane. So Cardwell's going to try to the bottom now.
Yeah, Cardwell trying to do the over-under there. Got a great run up off the corner, but as you can see, you really got to hold your car down, especially off of turn 4. The car wants to push up a little bit, and it just kills your momentum so much. It's frustrating as a driver, but we're going to continue to watch Davin try to work him over here.
Well, these guys are getting really close to each other. Cardwell maybe had to lift out of the throttle a little bit there to avoid some contact, but that's allowing Ethan Toder to pull away as we do have our first caution on the racetrack. Looks like Daniel Blau was up out of the groove at one point. He got up into the outside wall at turn 3 and 4, and the 25 Cody Terry nowhere to go, and then he gets hammered by a few more cars that pass by. And you know, in these dirt cars, you just can't stop.
No, extremely hard to stop on dirt, period. So, yeah, when something happens in front of you, if you get by it without making contact, you are extremely lucky, and sometimes that's what you need in the.
So Daniel Blau was given an EOL for that, for being the cause of the caution. Just couldn't stay off the wall there. A few other cars with some damage. So, you know, we got 7 laps in, and Toder was starting to pull away there. Do you think that was him having the outright pace to win this thing, or do you think it was more a product of Underwood having to defend from Cardwell?
Because he was starting to work the high side right before that caution came out and was really making up some time there.
Go down into turn 3 and 4 there. 30 laps again is this feature length, and we're about a quarter of the way through it. These guys pacing around here. One guy to note, Zach Chapman, he's already up 3 spots. Remember, he had some unfortunate events in his heat race and got moved out of the groove, lost 1 spot, which, you know, losing spots in your heats, that just 1 spot is going to lose you at least about 3 spots in the feature starting order. So Chapman trying to come back through the field here. But, you know, Toder, Underwood, and Cardwell, they can really put a stranglehold on this championship tonight if they're able to win this thing with double points.
Absolutely, and they're extremely tight in points already. So we see here Ethan's getting the jump, really good jump. So he's able to clear Ryan going into turn 1. Looks like Ryan's trying to come back. Oh, he actually gets to the outside here, Kenny.
Yeah, he is just barely there. Toder's going to try to make that bottom side work, and he's nearly clear, but Underwood is hanging tough on the high side. A lot of bumps starting to form in turns 1 and 2 on the high side, and Underwood may get an advantage here as Cardwell's got a front row seat to the battle behind him, and it's side by side behind him for 4th and 5th. That's Steven Spees side by side with Justin Thompson, our heat race winner, and Thompson's going to clear into 4th, but it's still side by side for the lead.
Absolutely, and we're a third of the way through this race. This track is already starting to get characteristics in it. As you said, bumps. I see the bumps going into turn one bad, and you just saw an over-under there by the 46 of Ryan Underwood.
That was a crazy move, kind of a slide job looking maneuver there, but Ethan Toder now looking back to the bottom. Maybe he's going to try a slider. Oh, he does. Slides up, maybe a little bit of contact with the 46. They're able to keep it going straight. Oh, now 46 trying to pinch him down just a bit. It's not really going to work. Davin Cardwell is there, ready to pounce. What do you do if you're Davin Cardwell here?
Man, I think you need to be a little bit patient. You just saw the floodgates kind of opened up for him there. He's able to get underneath. Ethan here trying to make a run, but the outside of turn 4 is looking really good right now.
DC Smith was up into the wall momentarily there in turn 3, but he's going to recover. And it's really hard to take our eyes off of this battle for the lead. We do have a decent battle going on for a 6th and 7th. That's Brandon Bender and Steven Spees along with John Hine. That's a little bit of 3 wide action almost. Coming off of turn 4, the things get really tight coming off of turn 4, especially when you're 3 wide.
Absolutely, they do. And everybody comes off of turn 2 there. They're side by side, 3 wide shortly. Yeah, oh man, it's getting tight, Kenny. Everybody's taking the gloves off. They're racing hard. This 3 wide racing is really phenomenal. This track's putting on a great show so far.
Yeah, these guys are really giving each other room. They haven't really been fully side by side exiting turn 4 though, which I think is a good thing. But look at that. Look at them fan out as we look back towards the lead with the top 3 who have appeared to have broken away from everybody else. It's Ryan Underwood with a little bit of a gap now ahead of Ethan Toder, with Davin Cardwell right up the back bumper of Toder for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, it's continuing to get more and more intense up here for the lead. These guys are running nose to tail. I think right now they're kind of working each other over, seeing where each person has strength and weaknesses, and they're going to try to take advantage of that. And we're already on lap 19 right now. It's getting down to the end. People are going to start making some moves.
Yeah, Cardwell's making moves. He's trying to dive down underneath the Toder. He's unable to make the slide job, especially with Underwood filling that gap up ahead of Toder. But he's going to try to make that bottom side work, dive down to the inside here in turn 1 and 2, slide up, trying to take away the racetrack, but he just can't do it. Cannot clear. As these guys still battling it out as we approach 10 laps to go. In other news, John Hine and Steven Spees, they're battling it out for 5th and 6th at the moment. But this racing up in the front for the top 3 is just amazing.
Yeah, it absolutely is, Kenny. These guys are putting on a great show. I know that Davin's got a lot of speed right now. He's just going to have to be patient while he's on the bottom of the track, work that throttle, try to get that speed up off the corner. Man, they're tight here.
Definitely looks like it's been hard to pass out there tonight. It looks like Zach Chapman and Josh Johnson have been the highest movers at only +4 and +3 respectively, so it looks like it's hard to pass out there tonight, JR.
It absolutely is. So as this track wears, that outside lane becomes more and more dominant. I mean, really, the middle lane's been surprising to me. It's working really well. That's where most of these guys are running, is right through the middle of the track. And I mean, if you can run there consistently, not make any mistakes, it's going to be hard for that guy to pass you, even if he's a couple of tenths of a second faster.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Underwood has gone back down to the bottom. Toder's starting to experiment with the third or an upper groove here. And here comes Cardwell out of nowhere, going to try to slide up in front of Underwood. Can't make it happen. But now all of a sudden Cardwell playing offenses. He's going to try it again in 3 and 4. Not going to clear for the lead. I'm surprised he didn't move up there.
Yeah, a little bit surprised there. Davin made some contact with Ryan just a little bit to get him a little bit up the track, got underneath him there, and now they are side by side with Davin on the outside, so it's going to be interesting if Ryan can he does, he regains the lead off turn 4.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal corner by Ryan Underwood there, and now we're nearly 3 abreast like what we saw for the battle for 5th earlier. Cardwell sort of in the middle here, and just like that, we're down to approaching 3 laps to go. Cardwell slides up again, not going to clear him. He's going to leave that upper line open. We'll dive down to turn 1 and 2. He's definitely clear this time, but he won't have the momentum going down into turn 3. However, Ethan Toder's filling that gap, and Underwood can't make it happen, and they're getting together, nearly spinning out there. Look at this as we get to 2 laps to go, and they're wrecking for the lead there. Wow.
Man, that that was definitely intense racing. A lot of car control there. I know that these guys still got into the wall off of turn 4, but that was some pretty great car control.
I wasn't even sure if that was yeah, it actually wasn't the cause of the caution here, as Mike Yow's picked up the replay for us. Thank you, Mike. But the 75 car actually looped it around, and the 112, I believe that is, or the 117 came by. That was Josh Johnson, and absolutely hammered him. But I was almost thinking the leaders were the caution, but they didn't really get completely spun around, and actually had a few incidents there under that for that caution. But wow, what a battle that was up front, and we're gonna have looks like what, 2 laps to go to settle it.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to have a green-white checkered here. Still the same 3 guys that are up front. I'm not sure, Kenny, do they do single file restarts when it's under 10 to go here?
I am not positive of that.
Yeah, this is
I
something
believe it's going to be a double file restart. I think the only thing that they do to change it is if there's too many cautions in a race, they will then have a single file restart. And I doubt they would change it to single file at this point. I think it's been a relatively clean race. So I think we're going to double them up here. We'll have to see when the lights go out on the iRacing pace truck. But, Underwood has some damage from that altercation a few laps ago. Cardwell has some damage too. And how about that move from Ethan Toder to get underneath of both of those guys as they were basically wrecking and take that lead?
Yeah, he was in the perfect position. I could see that he was trying to set these guys up and just kind of waiting for the opportunity there. He had the inside open. He took it. There was some contact, but these guys are racing hard, and they had some great car control going on, even though they got into the wall. The interesting thing is, like you said, some of these guys have some damage, and it was the top 3 just pulling away from everybody. Now this has closed everybody back up. And if we go double file here, you're going to see Justin Thompson on the outside lane, like he talked about wanting early in the race. So he may be a sleeper here at this point.
Yeah, he may be. Now, you know that Toder's probably, he may have an advantage if his car's still clean, which it appears that it's relatively. Looks like they are going to single file restart, though, which is a little bit interesting. But do you think that's going to help Toder here?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge advantage for Toder. Only a couple of laps to go. He's not going to have to worry about anybody to his inside or outside. Just focus, take off when you want to, get that launch, and go into turn 1 running whatever line you think your car needs to be running at this point.
Now that's going to kind of take a guy like Justin Thompson possibly out of the mix. But here we go. It's actually... here we go, the green flag, and this is actually the white flag. I was mistaken. Oh, it is a green-white checker. Yeah, 2 laps to go. Davin Cardwell flies up to the high side, and we're coming around to take the white flag. It was a green-white checkered, kind of an overtime finish here. Underwood looking underneath of Toder, but he's doesn't have that lane. What's he going to be able to do down here in 3 and 4?
No, man, looks like Davin got into the back of Ryan just a little bit. I think that upset his car enough that he's not going to be able to make a move on Ethan here. Ethan coming off of turn 4. He's going to get this win.
Ethan Toder with the victory here. Ryan Underwood in second, and a really good pass. Oh, they're piling it up here in turn 1 and 2. Steven Spees actually exited the track there. But really good pass there by Justin Thompson at the very end to nab that 3rd and final podium position. Steven Spees ended up 4th, and Davin Cardwell ended up P5 out of all that, so a loss in points for Davin there. As we look at our results, it's Ethan Toder with the victory, Ryan Underwood 2nd, Justin Thompson 3rd, Steven Spees grabs 4th, Davin Cardwell in 5th, Brett Carlton in 6th, Brandon Bender in 7th, DC Smith 8th, Alan Walden 9th, and Zach Chapman in 10th. JR?
Yeah, 11th place goes to John Hine, 12th to Cody Early, 13th to Colin Voiles, 14th to Cody Terry, 15th is Tress Henderson, 16th was Daniel Blau, 17th was Andy Piercefield, and 18th was Joshua Johnson.
So we will take a quick break here and see if we can catch up with our top 3 drivers. We'll be right back with some post-race coverage of the Gobbler 30.
The Fall Nationals, presented by Carrier, Cool Ray Heating and Cooling, Houston Guttering, Combs Cuts, ShowMeDirt.com, 107 Tire and Service Center, Renegade Racing Fuels, Chip Bangers Racing, and Vortex Wraps.
We are back with our post-race coverage of the Pro Late Model Dirt Series Gobbler 30, the Fall Nationals presented by Carrier and Cool Ray. We'll see if we can catch up with our race winner tonight, Ethan Toder. Ethan, what a fantastic battle it was between you, Ryan Underwood, and Davin Cardwell for most of this race. Talk about the end there where you took advantage of them two guys getting together and stealing that lead.
Yeah, I really thought I threw it away when that top came in, and I just didn't move up, and I threw a desperate slider on Underwood, and it didn't stick, and he went right around me, and then me and Cardwell had a really good race, and then I just let him go by, honestly, to try to see what he would do with Underwood, and then I started overdriving. I just had to calm him down, and once I calmed down, I ran them both back down, and they were throwing sliders back and forth, letting me catch them, and then when I don't know what even happened. I think Underwood threw a slider, or Davin threw a slider. Someone threw a slider into 1 and 2, and I got a really good run coming out of 2. And I drove all the way down the inside wall to try to keep it off Underwood so he could throw a slider back. And he never ended up throwing a slider, so all my momentum was already going up, and I think I kind of got him in the left front, and then they both got into it. I think it was a racing deal, but it was a heck of a race.
Yeah, you three guys were really battling it out there. You were really close to each other, and you pulled away from the rest of the field. And how much, at the time that you weren't in the lead, how much were you trying to kind of size them up and figure out where you could maybe possibly make a move at a track that was hard to pass at, and where you guys on pace wise were really even?
Oh yeah, for sure. I knew we were all going to be even. We all race together all the time, so I mean, we're all going to race each other with respect. But yeah, once I got behind both of them, they started doing battle, and then at that time I knew I was going to be quicker because they were sitting there throwing sliders back and forth and whatever. So I honestly just started trying to figure out a line. So that's when I just started rolling that slick both corners, and it was really good. So once I got there, I knew when that caution came out, I think Underwood had much for me because I didn't see him rolling the slick, so he wouldn't know how to run it at first.
Well, Ethan, you had a great run tonight back into victory lane. This will really help you in the points with it being double points night tonight. Who do you have to thank for the victory tonight?
Yeah, I believe we may have taken the points lead. Either we're going into the last race the leader, or it's tied going into the last race, so that should be interesting. But I can't thank my family for watching. They were all watching tonight, rooting me on like it was real racing. They get wild about this. And TAC 3 Defense, Terra of Frenchies, my girlfriend for watching me, and iRacing iFlag, and Team FTP.
All right, it was a great run tonight, Ethan. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
That was Ethan Toder, and I believe J.R. Shepard is going to catch up with our second place driver, Ryan Underwood.
Absolutely. Ryan, this is JR in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, that was some phenomenal racing that we saw from you guys out there tonight. Walk us through your strategy as you started second tonight. What did you have planned as far as the track, and what do you expected the track to do?
I really had no time to test today, so I was really just hoping I could go out there and win it and get the lead early, and I did. The track really migrated from the bottom to the top, and I was lucky. As soon as I got that top, I was already there, and I was able to get around Ethan, and then kind of just threw it away, driving mistakes, just letting them catch up, and Davin and Ethan racing me really hard there midway through the race, and we were just able to let them get by, and we were just trying to salvage out a podium there at the end.
Yeah, it looked like you had done a great job trying to manage the track and your position. I know you said you made some mistakes there, but still a phenomenal job. Walk us through the contact, man, at the end of the race with a couple of laps to go. It looked like you kind of got sandwiched going into turn 3 there. How did all that play out for you?
Yeah, I went in the corner. I knew Ethan was close and on my inside, but I didn't know how close. And it really, I think we hit wheel to wheel in the front end. It shot my car up the track, and I had nowhere to go into diving. And then I guess he didn't know what was going on. And I guess when we got hooked, he just kept on turning left. But it is what it is. What stays on the racetrack stays on the racetrack, and we'll just bring it back into next week. But overall, it was just nobody had no idea what was going on. It was just a mistake by everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It just looked like three guys going for the same spot. End of the race, things are going to get a little aggressive for sure. Hey, again, great run tonight, coming home in second place. Is there anybody you want to thank for tonight's run?
Congrats to Ethan on the win. He got that well deserved. Everybody at Team RCI Performance, Mecca Motorsports, Northside Graphics and Designs, all they do for me. Bighorn Taxidermy, Tac 3 Defense, Evan and Blake over there at Majula C Setup Shop. Go check them out for some bad fast setups, and everybody on the company.
Absolutely. Again, Ryan, we appreciate you being in here and talking with us. And again, great run tonight.
Thank you.
All right, that was Ryan Underwood, our second place finisher tonight. And I believe Kenny is going to catch up with our third place finisher.
We brought Justin Thompson back into the booth. Justin, you didn't start in the place that you wanted to in the feature race, but you kind of just hung around there in the top 5 all night and salvaged the top 3. How do you feel about the race tonight?
I'll take a top 3. Didn't really prepare much for it, but I'll take a top 3 out of it. Track turned out to be pretty racy. It was pretty even top and bottom, and we got that first caution, and I was trying to go around Cardwell on the outside, and he started to pinch me up towards the wall, so I lifted out of it. That almost ended the night right there, and I just stayed with it, and luck was on our side when Cardwell decided to get into, I think that was Underwood getting into turn 1 on the last lap, and it let me slide off into third place.
Yeah, talk about that final restart there. You guys had a single file restart, so you're maybe a long shot to get up all the way to first. But was that a situation where you kind of thought of that as an opportunity to gain some more spots, which obviously you did?
I mean, I knew it was going to get sketchy at some point. I mean, I've raced with Cardwell a lot. I've raced with Underwood a lot. I mean, and Ethan, all 3 of them, they're as fierce as it gets when it comes to racing on here, and I mean, they don't cut anybody any slack. I mean, they give you respect, but they don't cut you any slack. So if you mess up, more than likely something's going to happen, and you're either going to get passed or they're going to touch, because they all race really close together and everything like that. So, I mean, I was hoping that something like that would happen in the back of my mind, but at the same time, in the front of my head, I was just trying to maintain what was right there on my nose and not cause any kind of major problems myself.
Well, you did a really good job getting through that cleanly and salvaging this top 3 finish, finishing where you started. Who do you have to thank for the podium run tonight?
Team Hood Up Motorsports, all my guys over there. Sim Magic, Sim Motion US, and Matt Julis Say Speed Shop. JDM Designs, if you need a wrap, get in touch with JDM Designs. Really, really high quality work. JDM has partnered with Chris Ferguson Motorsports. Well, Chris Ferguson, CFM Esports, I guess is how you'd call it. So, if you need a wrap, get in contact with JDM Designs.
All right, well, it was a good run for you, Justin. Congratulations on the podium.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for broadcasting.
Thank you. That was Justin Thompson, and that'll wrap up our interviews for tonight. We'd like to thank them all for the top 3 for joining us. JR, quick final thoughts of this one. Man, just hard racing in those top 3 positions.
It absolutely was, and these guys put on a great show, man. there was a lot of tight racing. Ultimately, at the end, we saw 3 guys going for the same spot in the turn 3, not really knowing exactly where each other were, and contact was made. But man, these guys put on a great show, and I think the winner tonight, Ethan Toder, he came in second place in points. He's going to leave with a points lead, so he did what he needed to do tonight. And I don't know what else to say, man. Kenny, tell us what you think about this, because I thought there was some great racing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know that hard racing is going to lead to some contact sometimes, and especially on the dirt side. I mean, these guys are used to hitting each other every once in a while. You and I both know very well that when you race close and race hard like that, sometimes you're going to run into each other. It just is a part of the game, but I can tell those guys really do enjoy racing against each other. And throughout the field, a lot of clean racing, a lot of hard competitive racing, but we know for one thing for sure is that the last race is going to be quite a battle, so I look forward to be able to watch that one. Our next Pro Late Model Dirt Series broadcast is going to be on December 8th at Lanier National Speedway. It is the final event of the Fall Nationals, so do not miss that one. It should be a really good one, good battle for that championship. And the next event for the Virtual Grip Network will be this Friday, 11/19, for the Bootleg Racing League Dirt Street Stocks, also at Lanier National Speedway. That'll be a good one. So thanks, J.R. Shepard, for joining me in the booth. I'm Kenny Kibbe. Thanks to Mike Yao again as our director. This has been a production of the Virtual Grip Network, and we'll see you in the next one.